Put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right.
What is going on, Believers, guys? My name is Bleaves. This is Bedtime with Bleaves, and we are starting to see a pump in the market because the South Korean index has started to churn out money. If you go take a look over here, then you will see the Korea Composite Stock Index is now pumped up 14 points on 2331. This is almost a 1% increase. Seems like they're not worried about what the American market is doing. So while we've had quite a fall from grace, so to speak, in the American market and most of the Asian markets going through the last 24 hours, and we've fallen out of this channel. Now, remember, this channel, when we talked about it before, this channel was going to be representative of, at some point, we are going to break out of this, and we're going to fall to the downside. This is an early fall right now, but depending on the amount of time, it could make its way back inside this channel in just a short period of time, and we might be looking at this continued sort of line of support, if that's even possible. Over here, I think I have the Chinese indices, by the way. So we're going to see what the Chinese market does in the next little while, and it's going to open fairly shortly. As most of you know, we're right at that spot where these markets are starting to open. So we're seeing a run right now on cryptocurrency, and we're starting to see green in all of the market. This has been a strong buy opportunity for the Asian market so far. Don't know if that maintained itself all night, but it looks like as an asset class, the Asian markets are very interested in crypto right now. So if you are in a position, then be prepared. The overnight shouldn't result in a big run up. I would think more of this is going to be a run down as the evening progresses and it goes into the middle of the night and it stretches on into morning. So I don't think that we're going to see a run on Bitcoin up to 20,000 or 20,500 or 21,500, any of the numbers that would be logical. I just don't think that we have I don't think we have the ability. Right here, you can see right here, when the Asian markets really get going, you can see that there is a giant stretch here. But generally, when you see these giant stretches like that, that's liquidations of shorts or longs on leveraged positions being fulfilled. So I don't know that we have any of those on the 12th of the month to be filled, but it is entirely possible. I just can't see that we went through something. So we'll see how this plays out as the evening progresses. But for as much downward momentum and downward pressure as we experienced in the last few hours leading up to the announcement tomorrow morning on the CPI number, which is now looking, by the way, to be over 9%. And I think that we're sitting right now in a position for a dip. Now, here's the good part. The good part is once this is over, once we establish where we're going tomorrow, we're going to see that sell down. It's going to happen. And as we zoom out here just a little bit, I don't know. Most people are predicting that we're going to hold position to around 18,000. So that's what I keep hearing over and over and over again. Originally, we were talking about 16.4. We were talking about a whole bunch of different lower positions. 16.4 was the number one. That was the one. But I don't know that we're going to get that. It's going to take a lot of work to get down to that position for this market. So it doesn't look like we have it. Of course, anytime we start to make a claim like that, then what ends up happening? They end up doing it. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to be on the sidelines until after this happens tomorrow. Once this happens tomorrow, then I'm going hard into Avalanche. I'm going hard into Aave, and then I'm going hard into Matic, because the amount of support, the amount of information coming out right now, the amount of positivity coming from these cryptos is really, really good right now. These are having look. This has gone on a nice run. This is Matic, by the way. This has gone on a very nice run. You can see here that it's continuing to trend to the upside, and it's limited its downside. If you can, move around, you're going to see a lot more downside on a lot more stuff than what you're seeing on Matic right now. So sentiment seems to be really strong to kind of hold position while this market went down the last couple of days. Matic still had that pump in the middle, which prohibited it from falling the way that the rest of the market was falling. That being the case, this might be one of those plays. Now you want to wait for the weakened position. You don't want to never get in to one of these positions right here. You can see here that this is probably not going to, you're not going to get support until 52 right here. So you can expect that it's going to have some downward pressure. Now, the other thing is, if Bitcoin ends up falling, and it will fall, but when it starts to fall, if it cuts into 18%, or I'm sorry, cuts in 80%. If it comes down here to 18,000, and we see it bang on this 1,000, 18,000 line right here, then that's going to mean a downtrend by about 5%. 5% of that should double on Matic. So Matic could go down 10%. So we could see instead of this 54 price right here, we could really start to see this thing dip down into the 40s again, and maybe even catch this line right about here at 49 cents. And that would be about a 10% dump, which is what is standard in the altcoins when Bitcoin dumps 5%. So those are the numbers. That's what I'm looking at. But I really think that AVAX, Avalanche, and Matic are going to go on quite a run right after that. But we got to find that bottom. Just be paying attention to that bottom. If you're making any plays, if you're looking to make any moves, those are going to be the ones to make the moves on. And here's the thing. When you get done with those, once you've made your profits off of those, you have so much time to get back into this market right here and make your plays in this market right now. Volt is down to 76.26. Terra is down to 15.49. The fact that ETH is not holding support is causing a run on these tokens. Again, listen, Terra a few minutes ago was available for 14.59. So, you have to look at the price action, and you have to see where you can fit in and where you can get into a good position with these. And remember, these are going down even more because they're going down with the rest of this market. So you're going to have plenty of buy opportunities over here. So the important thing right now is make your money in this altcoin world. Now, most of the smart money is going to be on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is what moves the needle. Once we find a local bottom for Bitcoin, and once we get to that point that we are sitting at that bottom, and we know exactly where it is, and it's going to bounce up, and it should bounce up because here's the thing. When you go back and you look at the Fed calendar, or when you look at, Jesus, I guess we could just look at any calendar here. So if you're going through any calendars, then, you can, I guess my calendars are not good. Let's look at a calendar that you can actually read. Should have been ready for this one. I wasn't even thinking about this one at this point. There we go. That looks good. All right. So this calendar over here that you're looking at right now. So this is where we are. This is the CPI right here on the 13th. Then there's nothing coming for these. You have your shorts on Fridays. So you have your shorts and your longs that are going to be liquidating around these periods of time, but you don't have a huge amount. And you got the biggest short, the short liquidation is going to be on the 29th normally. So we're looking at smooth sailing after this 13th. So we're going to have this dip, and then we're going to have a little bit of a correction right in here maybe in preparation for the FOMC meeting, which comes on the 26th and the 27th. And by the way, we don't get the meeting minutes. We just get the announcement on the 27th of Jerome Powell comes out and he says, hey, guys, we're going to do 75 basis points, and you guys are going to like it. So, we got that coming. And then on the 28th, we get the GDP number, and that GDP number is going to put us into a recession. Now, it's not the GDP number that puts us into a recession, but we're going to hear those numbers and we're going to know that we're in a recession according to the metrics. Now, you and I both know we're already in a recession. There's no fooling anybody here, but we're going to get this right here. And this is where it's going to get, I think, the ugliest, right? Then we're going to accept it. And then we're going to start moving on. And then we're going to get to August. And then, August is going to be that moment where there's no Fed meetings for that month. There's no GDP that comes out for that month. Remember, these markets, they don't have long memories. And the other thing to remember is what happens in these markets. That doesn't apply to every, it affects the world markets. But if a market wants to run, it's going to run. And as you come over here and you look, you can see, the U.S. is in red. Now, it's in red because it's expecting, and the earnings reports have been coming out, and the earnings reports have not been as good as they wanted it to be. And the Chinese market, the same thing. Like, we're kind of struggling. But look at all the green that you're starting to see here. Even the European markets are starting to feel some green. South Africa has just maintained itself in green over here. And is this Bolivia? Do I even know? Like, is that Bolivia on the map? And Mexico, they're feeling good too. Spain, it looks like France and Poland. So, we're getting good signals around, and Japan seems to be having a pretty good signal, and New Zealand. So there's pockets where they're not really feeling the burn. And here we are feeling the burn right now, but South Korea is not feeling that burn, and they're like right here. So they're not feeling the burn at all. They're just kind of neutral. And with their neutral, we're pumping. Now, remember, by the way, you have to put this in context. Just a few hours ago, Bitcoin was down 500 points. Bitcoin is now down or up 127 points. So we've had a swing here from 19,242 up to 19,400. Of course, the market has moved. So, we're looking a little bit more up than we were before. But we're starting to move back up, and we're starting to mint some green. And when you start minting some green, then it starts feeling a whole lot better. So, you know what? We should start putting the volume in there. Why not do that? Yeah, now we can see the trading volume on there as well. So, here we are. We're going to wait for Korea to do their thing, and then we're going to see what happens. But, it really looks like they're feeling good. And that means Bitcoins might feel a little bit good. We look at the 15-minute candles, and we see we probably even see them feeling a little bit better like this. So this is about to pass over the 48 EMA, and if it passes over the 48 EMA, then we're going to have a nice run, because this is when you get over the EMA, that's when you get in a nice run pattern, and you start getting a good run up. So look, if you watch this, it doesn't always play out for a long period of time, but it does play out pretty good. So this right here goes from 21,293 all the way up to 21,973. So there is spots where you can make money. Now, the big question of the day, if you saw my video for Terra Luna, we're going to get to that in just a moment, because Terra Luna is going to go on a run. It's going to 3x from where it is right now. I'm telling you right now, it's going to have just a great sort of run. But before we get to that, Rodney did a video a little while ago, and he was talking about Voyager pumping. And if you have been paying attention, then you will see that the big mover and shaker of the day, at least we can go over here on CoinGecko and look at it and see that the Voyager protocol, wherever the hell it is, I guess we can't see it because they're not tracking it. They probably delisted it or whatever it is that they do. VGX, there you go. So up 117% on the day, 122%, and the volume is up to 123 million. Now, why is that the case? Well, first of all, their market cap is now 90 million. So you can see that there is a run right now happening on this token. And this token was down here at 14 cents, spiked all the way up to 40 cents. Now, here's the question for most people. What happened? Why is Voyager on the run that it's on? And people were talking about, well, they don't really know Why? We're going to call this bullish, by the way. So the reason is because they made a post, and their post got people a little confused. It says, we understand how critical it is to get access to your value on your account, and we are working through this process as quickly as possible to do just. First of all, here's what they just said. We understand how critical it is to get access to the value in your account, and we are working through this process as quickly as possible to do just that. What did they just tell you? They just told you you're getting your money back. Your money is not lost, right? But guess what? They're in bankruptcy. They're in a Chapter 11 liquidation. You don't get anything back. You're not going to get anything back because you're a small fish investor. Who are they talking to right now? They're talking to the whales. They're telling the whales that the whales are going to get some of their money back, maybe, depending on how much is left over after this asset liquidation. So this says, customers' cash belongs to you and will go back to you, subject to a reconciliation and fraud prevention process. All customer cash is held in a customer account at Metropolitan Commercial Bank and is equal to the amount of cash in Voyager account. So what they're telling you is that you're getting your money back. And if you're in a Chapter 11, you're not getting the money back. So what's happening right now is it appears like they are misleading people. Now, anything could happen. They could be making a deal. They could be doing anything to try to make something positive happen. But realistically, no. People are not going to get their money back. These people are absolutely screwed. So this is not going to end well for most of these investors. But they've been tricked. They've been tricked into it. So now you have a whole bunch of people buying the Voyager token, knowing that it's going to just start mooning, and it's probably not. It's going to do the same thing that every other token does when there's an artificial pump. It's going to pump for a little while, and it's going to dump because people are going to realize, oh yeah, it didn't do what I thought it was going to do. But let's move on just a little bit. Let's talk about, because here's why it's not going to be down for long. This is why the market's just not going to bear minimal price action. It's not going to do it for a long period of time. Bitcoin Lightning capacity reaches all-time high of 4,200 Bitcoin. Despite the ongoing bearish market, the dominant cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is becoming more scalable with each passing day. The latest data update displayed that Bitcoin's Layer 2 scaling solution for fast and cheap Bitcoin payments, the Bitcoin Lightning Network capacity, reached an new all-time high of over 4,200 Bitcoin. According to data from TX Stats, the Bitcoin Lightning Network housed 4,281 Bitcoin in its over 89,000 channels at the time of reporting. This, in turn, ascertained a phenomenal growth in the network's Bitcoin capacity as opposed to last year, this time, when the capacity stood slightly over 1,800 Bitcoin. So the Lightning Network is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're seeing the growth starting to happen here. But at the same time, we're seeing the market go down. So somewhere at some point, there's a balance there, right? And right now, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to get, look, you might be by the end of this, you're probably going to be ready to just say, you know what, Bleaks, you should just have all my money because I'm not going to need it because I'm just going to lose it all anyway. So stay tuned and listen to the end here because it's going to start getting a little bit crazy, and there's a lot going on in the marketplace right now that you should know about. And you know, we're not going to analyze, but I want to point it out, and you're going to start seeing some crazy shit happening, and then you're going to realize, oh shit, I'm in trouble. So we're going to move on from that. We're going to go to Celsius. Celsius retrieves 410 million in collateralized ST ETH, formerly used for liquidity issues. Now, what is going on with Celsius? So Celsius has still not allowed people to take money out, but what's going on is Celsius is getting all of their debts paid. And the new thinking is Celsius is going to file for bankruptcy. The ongoing DeFi industry turmoil is beginning to resolve after the DeFi lending giant Celsius paid off over 81 million in debt to Aave and reclaimed 410 million of its staked ETH. Celsius, which became the epicenter of the series of DeFi lending platform downfalls, is finally getting closer to fully settling its liquidity issues. When it fully settles its liquidity issues, it will be out of money. It doesn't have a whole lot of money. It can't unleverage itself from the position that it's in. It can pay down some of these debts, but then you can't withdraw your money because then it has nothing. And if it has nothing, then it's not worth anything. So they're going to file bankruptcy. Most probably they're going to file bankruptcy. And then we're going to start seeing some real freaking out happening. So just remember that. And remember, you heard it here, maybe second. So let's go look at the okay. So bullwhip. God damn it, I said it wrong. Here we go. All right, so we're looking at this thing. It's called the bullwhip effect, right? All right, so here's where we are, and here's what's happening in the market right now. So this is where we are, and we look at the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is at 30,000. Why did the Dow Jones just absolutely tank in the last few hours of trading? And I know that was meant to be a circle, and if you don't like that circle, kiss my ass. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. That was the closest I could get to a circle in a short period of time. But so what's the issue here? The issue is so simple. The issue is that oil right here, that's the brush tool. Yeah. Let's see what I can do with this brush tool. Let's brush. So right here is where we got the notice that the oil industry was not making record-breaking profits. All of a sudden, the oil industry does not have bajillions and bajillions of money in this quarter's profit. They're not going to be making near as much money. So what do? Well, then you sell down. They're literally betting. They're literally betting against gas prices going down. Just think about that for a second. That's how insane this market is. They're betting that this market will not pump, so to speak. This caused a massive sell-off. They don't want you to pay less for gas. They like oil over $100 a barrel. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that price point, because it costs roughly $37, I think it is, $37 for the United States to manufacture a barrel of oil that it then has to go out and sell. Now, if you remember a couple years ago when Donald Trump was in office, oil prices were very, very low. And we were able to absorb that because the economy was kind of moving along. And, going all the way back to 2000, I think it's 2009, after the bank stimulus, the economy just kind of moved, and it was moving forward, and it's been moving forward for about 10 years. And, at the end of the day, Donald Trump took the Obama economy and he put it on quote unquote steroids. He deregulated a lot of things. I mean, maybe, hey, you know what? We poison the earth, then, oh, well, I mean, we can't go back and fix it now. So you have to accept it, right? So people were able to pay more. People were able to make more. The economy kept moving upwards. So at the end of the day, that's what we want, right? We want the economy to be moving. I know we don't want to poison the earth. We don't want to get flooded. We don't, right? I know that, but you can only do what you can do, right? So with all of this money and all this stuff happening, then guess what was happening? The United States was not making money off of oil. Now, when oil settled at around $50 to $70 a barrel, that's when America starts making some money off of the oil reserve. So that's when we're in profit when it comes to oil, right? So when this all happened and the oil started to go up right now, that's why you're seeing such enormous profits from these companies, because they're making huge amounts of money that they were not able to make before. They were able to make so much more because this is what's going on. This is what's happening, right? They're loading up. They're loading up their profit wagons. Now, here's the problem. Now that the oil prices are coming back down, and they're having supply chain issues because there's only 123 out of 135 refineries that are open right now, which means that they have supply chain issues. It was just said that 235 new cargo ships have been ordered to be manufactured in the next 30 days. And I'm going to tell you why this is going to be a big problem. Okay. We are looking at, people keep talking about this thing called the Great Reset, and I don't know anything about the Great Reset. I watched a couple of articles and I read one article. I mean, I watched a couple of videos about the Great Reset. Um, I don't get into conspiracy, so most of the people that I watched were actually college educated and know what they're talking about. They didn't use words like the Grand Cabal and you know how they're trying to get us, and didn't say crazy shit, right? They just said the logical stuff. And then the article basically said that what's happening here is the world wants to rebuild the economies across the countries, all countries, but they want to rebuild the economy based on what they call a more green initiative. Now, green has become a dirty word to a large constituent of people because green means a newer technology that does not get packaged very well on places like, let's call it Fox News. It doesn't get packaged very well when you're talking about green. Why? Well, the oil industry, like the Koch brothers, that's a big company that's worked for years with the Murdochs. Like they have a vested interest in the well-being of that industry. And let's face it, take out all of the good for the earth, bad for the earth. Take all of that out, right? People need jobs. Oil produces a lot of jobs, a lot of good paying jobs. The amount of people running windmills right now does not pay in that same league yet. Not with the same efficiency, not in the same places. So, there's a transition that is going to have to happen over a long period of time. And we as a country, we're not really ready for that. So, we are not the people that we think we are, right? We are, as a society, as a nation, we are more like the people that say random crazy shit. It doesn't matter what the crazy shit is, right? We're just random crazy shit. Then we are the people like down the center, this little 30% of us that are right in the middle saying, man, both of you people are out of your minds. Why are you even arguing? What are you talking about? None of this stuff is real, right? And those people realize we got to have these jobs. We got to have all these things, right? Well, so we're ordering new containers to cargo ships, right? Now imagine, and this is the way I was told, right? So imagine you're a customer, and this is it's called the bullwhip effect, because here's what happens, okay? And this is where it's going to get crazy, because this is already happening, and it's happening in every industry that we have, and this is why everything is going to be, this is why it's going to be catastrophic, okay? The next month in the next month or so, we're going to see when these profits start to come in, everybody's going to start to recognize what's going on, okay? But let's say, just as an example here, that we're going to do this in red so that you can see it. But let's just say, for example, that people in the store buy 30 boxes of cereal, right? Now, the retailer here is Walmart. So Walmart sees 30 boxes of cereal, so they buy 40 boxes of cereal, right? Well, what happens when customers start buying 50 boxes of cereal? Well, then, and this is because, remember, we all got our stimulus checks. We all got extra money. We all had money. We were sitting around. We weren't traveling. We weren't using money. We weren't doing things. So now we all have a little bit of extra money. So then what happens? Well, what happens then is, we're going to have to move this over to the side here. So then if they order 30, they order 40 to cover the 30. How many do they order when they cover the 50? Well, 50 is way more. So they're going to order 70 now. Why? Wow, I just screwed that completely up. Oops. Anyway, so they're going to order 70 because now they're trying to keep up with these 50 because that's 20 more and they need some extra, so they're going to have more. Well, the manufacturer then says, oh my God, they used to order 40, so we used to make 50. Now they're ordering 70. We need to make 100, right? Because there's such a big order for them. Well, now over here, the suppliers are seeing, hey, they used to do all this, so we should have 60 ready at any given time to make sure that that 30 is always supplied. Now it goes down the chain, right? So there's some of them, and everybody throws some stuff away, right? Now, everybody wants 50. Everybody wants way more stuff right now. So now these guys, they have to do 120. So now the suppliers are making ridiculous amounts of supply. We don't have a supply chain problem. We've been talking about it for a long time, but in the last 2 years, the American economy has done a remarkable job of fixing supply chain issues. We don't have very many supply chain issues left. Now, here's the problem. The problem is all of these guys are now basing everything on these people who are buying 50. So they're creating 70, 100, 120. Well, all of a sudden the customers now with this economy, and I'm writing the wrong hand, but God damn it, you guys can see it, 30. So the customers have gone back down to 30. Now, what's the end result of when it goes back down to 30? Well, the end result of when it goes back down to 30 is now this company here, they made 70. What do they do with all that stuff? Well, they stock 40 again. Maybe they stock 45, whatever. We'll even say more. We'll say it's 40, whatever. So they're stocking 40. Now, what happens over here? Well, these manufacturers, now somebody, by the way, they have to get rid of this stuff. So how do they get rid of their extra supply? Well, it all goes on sale. But where did the 50 go? The 50 got destroyed. And now everything that you were getting at full price over here, now you're getting at a discount. So now if people want to buy more, then they're going to have to buy things at a discount. And what does that do? Well, that lowers the price of things. And what does that do? It makes everybody feel like, well, we're getting things a little bit cheaper. But are you getting things cheaper? No, because guess what? All of these manufacturers and all of these suppliers and all of these retailers are no longer making the money that they were making before, and they're throwing away a whole bunch of the supply and a whole bunch of goods. And when we go to retailers, we can look at Walmart profit by, can we do quarter? Yeah. So if we do Walmart profit by quarter, we see the stock price is down a little bit. Here we go. Their earnings call, it's projected, by the way, to miss there. But you can see here, their upcoming quarter 2 2023 is scheduled for August 16. Here we go. Gross profit. Boom. Right here. So their profit is predicted to be from 2021, their profit was an increase of 7.33% to the next year. So then this year's profit is projected to be 143, up 3.5%. But that 4% differential right there, the one that we're looking at is, you know what? Now I'm used to doing this with my right hand, and I moved over to my left, because I'm left-handed, by the way. But it turns out that when I'm drawing with a goddamn mouse, this number right here, this matters. This 7.3% increase that we saw right here, they're expecting it now. That's what investors are expecting. So what's happening now? There's too much supply, and there's not nearly as much profit. So what does that do? Well, it drives the price down. What's going on with that? Well, the price now is 125. So then you can go look at Walmart. Walmart stock price year to date. So the year to date stock price is Walmart was up here at 144, was feeling great. they were feeling just awesome. They were up here in the 160s. Everybody was reaping the profit. And then guess what happened over here? Suddenly, everybody realized, oh shit, we got supply problems. So guess what happens? Now the profit margin has gone way down. Now people are not making near as much money. That's what's happening. So now here's the problem. The problem is this right here that we're looking at, that little piece that we were just looking at right there, that's about to get way worse. That number that we were just looking at, that's about to go like out of control worse. So we're about to see all of these things. We're about to see all of these things just get out of control. And there's absolutely nothing that anybody can do about it because this bullwhip effect has created so much supply. Imagine this. We have convinced ourselves that we need 234 more cargo ships. Well, guess what? Consumer demand is down. We ordered the cargo ships when consumer demand was up. What are we going to do with an extra 234 cargo ships? Now, what if we decide not to pay for the cargo ships? What if companies start defaulting because they don't need them and they don't pay for them? Well, then the shipping companies are going out of business. And it just continues all the way down the line. And that's what we're experiencing right now. So what you're seeing is type in quarterly earnings down into the news. Stock market takes sudden drop, and this is today. Several earnings reports are ahead. The S&P is down 0.8. Blah, 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 blah. American Airlines travel, because people are traveling more. Travel rose 11% after it raised its second quarter guidance. This is a very small sliver, right? Taiwan Semiconductors, which reports its second quarter earnings on Thursday, has been following the larger tech decline, despite the fact that the company beat estimates in April, upped its sales outlook by 30% for the quarter because it can't get everything shipped because we're still having the shipping issues because the boats take almost a year to complete, it turns out. ExxonMobil is trading below its previous buy point of 89.90 and is well below its 50-day moving average. Shares fell again Tuesday along with the energy sector. The company missed analyst estimates in April, and after reaching an all-time high of 105.57 in June, it has been leading the market decline along with other energy stocks. Monster Beverage continues to form a double bottom. JP Morgan have been trending down with the rest of the financial stocks. Pepsi reversed lower in late trading, although it continues to form a flat base after it beat profit estimates by 12 cents and upgraded its outlook, but it's still down overall. Dow drops more than 100 points. Stocks line on earnings report for companies begin. So we're starting to see that because this is the spot where all of your earnings reports are starting to come in. So now we're starting to find out exactly how much people do or do not have. So, ta-da. Hey, Bleeze, if you get a random airdrop to your hardware wallet, is that wallet compromised? No, it's not compromised because it's just going by your address. If you got a random airdrop to your hardware wallet and it is connected to something, I would be kind of freaking out. Crypto B, the World Economic Forum, they say by 2030 we'll own nothing and we'll be happy, but they don't really say that. Like that's that mouth breather stuff. Like that's not real. That's not really what people are saying. However, anybody who's in power is seeking to control power and consolidate that power. So while generally speaking, that's not really happening. Here, let me put it this way. If I have 5 houses and I own 5 houses and I rent to 5 people, how does that make me the bad guy? If I give them a fair price, a market rate, and I decide, hey, I'm going to cut your lawn, I'm going to pay electric, or you're going to pay your own electric, but I'm charging you a fair rate. How am I the bad guy? Now, in that analogy here, in this analogy, what they're saying is, well, if you're a renter, you have to be miserable. And what I'm saying is, you can't make me the bad guy just because I own 5 houses. You can't make me the bad guy just because I did well and you didn't do well. I'm not the bad guy. I'm still allowed to make a profit, and I'm going to make a profit. So, I don't put too much into when I get crazy reports like that, because that's just what they are. It's just crazy reports. I mean, that's what happens. That's what these people go through. That's what, So, now I'm exhausted. Because now I'm getting on a rant about the government and the CPI. Yeah, I mean, that's the end of it. If it's in there and it's because you plugged it in and you were part of a network somewhere. They can't just send it to you on a hardware wallet. You have to be plugged in. So anyway, there are people who are saying right now that in the next 30 days, we are going to experience just a crazy, crazy, crazy sort of dump. So get ready for that. Be ready for that. Have your money on the sidelines, just ready to ape into stuff and get into the market and make your move and make your play. Stop worrying about everybody else's play. I love you too, man. Stop worrying about everybody else's play. Just worry about your play. Now let's go over here, and while we're playing, and let's go see who won the Believes hat. All right, so we're going to go back to the minute chart. Oh, by the way, I got the paid edition now, so I can just put in every indices. So we're going to go back to 9 o'clock. We're going to go look where we were at exactly 9 o'clock. Shit. I didn't mean to do that. So exactly, don't, 8 o'clock, I meant, God damn it. So exactly 8 o'clock, we finished at 19,413. So our number was 19,413. So now let's go find my post. All right, here we go. 19,413 is what we were trading at. 18,950, that's a loser. 19,149 is in control. What's the difference between 19,413? That's 264. So 264 is the variance right now. That's not close. Oh, Shilling Duchess is way in the good at 20,237. She's only off by 177. So she now takes the lead. Wait, no, she's way off. God damn it. I'm losing my mind. My brain's not working right. 19,085 Legal Alien. You didn't get shit. Uproar Entertainment. Captain Crypto, 19,291. Uproar, 19,478. So Uproar is only off 65 points right now. 19,800. Nope. Costas. Nope. 18,742. Nope. And BFOC. So Uproar Entertainment is going to be winning this. Uproar Entertainment wins. The final was 19,413 at 8 p.m. CST. Send, PM me your address, and a Believes Crypto hat is on the way. All right, so Uproar Entertainment came in and was only off by 65 points. 65 points is look, if I could be off 65 points and I could guess that shit right every single time, woohoo. we would be eating every night and dinner would be on me. All right, so let's get back over here. The 1 minute. By the way, when we look at this 1 minute, it looks fascinating, right? Like we can look here, we can see like just since the Asian market started to wake up, we start to see life in crypto after it just got ate up all day long by the American market. So about 6:30 right here is where it started. It had a little sell-off in the beginning because that's the way the Korean market always seems to start off, and then it just pumps and it just starts pumping. So we'll see how it plays out. 3 minute looks kind of the same. This was a nice run to catch. But let's go look at the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we're looking at. So we got a little bit of a pump happening. We got two green candles minted, one after the other. We've got a divergence, pretty big one between the 9 and the 13 right now. So they're going to have to catch each other before we start to see some upward momentum. The next hour, we're going to need to see that blue start to move back to the green on the EMAs before we get comfortable with where it's at. Problem here is if you go look at the volume profile, that we don't have a lot of volume in this range. Like this range is not heavily traded. So it's only becoming heavily traded because this is where we are right now. So when you're looking at this average right now, you want to get if you could get back up into this area, then there's not much resistance getting you back up to 20,000. So let's go look and see what it looks like on the 2 hour. On the 2 hour, we're kind of getting see there's a lot of support when you look at it on the 2 hour. So there is something there. On the 4 hour, you've got a little bit right here. So that's what's happening right here. On the 4 hour, you can zoom out and you can see earlier parts of July. And you can see that we're just kind of falling on this line as this line of support, and hoping for some upward momentum. Again, any upward momentum that we get in the next 24 hours it's not going to be sustained. So this is your scalpers right now that are just kind of taking profit and pulling out just trying to earn a little bit in the meantime before this next big dip starts happening. And the number, by the way, if you see the early reports, CPI leak. Let's see the CPI leak. Fake CPI leak is doing the round and might be impacting markets. So the fake CPI, by the way, that was coming in says what? Price index for all urban consumers increased 1.7% in June on an person. May, that's a month, 10.2. So it came out and it said that we were up to a 10.2. So yeah, it's not real, but it's kind of funny that it came out and then the market's just like, well, fuck that, because they're not trying to play that game. Market sync on false CPI rumor. Real number out Wednesday. CPI link circulating on Twitter is fake. However, who is the favorite? Let's see if there's a CPI. Let's see what people are saying about the CPI right now. It's confirmed that the 10% CPI is a fake. Just in, the Fed is now measuring CPI in Bitcoin. All right, so here we go. This is what it really comes down to. 8.6 or less, markets continue to rally. 8.7, but less than 8.9, temporary drop. 9.0, bear mode is back. But we already know it's going to be over 9 because you're running off. Look, like I know a lot of people just don't get this. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I didn't remove the logo. It's right there. It's just that sometimes when I'm not doing live streams or anything like that, and I'm doing full screen, you can't see it. That's all it is. But yeah, I'm still partnered with them, and it's still there. as a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be getting some resources, so I'm about to show you guys some shit. But anyway, so the number that's falling off for the last indicator is May of 21. So if May of 21 falls off, or June of 21 falls off, so that we're talking about July through June of this year, if the June number falls off, and that June number was a low level of inflation, and we get a higher level of inflation, then guess what? The number's going to go up. It doesn't mean that anything's worse. It just means that the softer number is going to fall off. You know, that's what we're dealing with right now. So when this guy says, hey, under 8.6, it's impossible. It's not possible that we come in under 8.6. So we're not going to see continuation of a market rally. 8.7 to 8.9, in order for that to happen, we would have had to have had like a 0.5, and then this month would have to be like a 0.6 or a 0.7 for it to go up into that range. So that's probably not going to happen either, even though the price of oil did come down and we did start to see a little bit of relief in gas and oil prices. We didn't see a lot of relief in everything else. So that relief is coming. We just haven't seen it yet. And then over 9% bear mode is back. So I guess bear mode is back because cool. But here we go. We're going to get the consumer price index tomorrow for June, which is expected to be around 8.8. But one has to wonder if the trend changed in July as 30-day commodity prices have really tumbled. See, this is what we're talking about. All of these numbers are way, way down. So if all of this is way, way down, how is the price of everything still way, way up? You know what I'm saying? So the inflation number has to start lowering. So we're going to see I think we're going to see over 9. And by the way, look, we're seeing it everywhere. It's up everywhere. So White House warns CPI inflation number will be elevated. Axios, how high? And by the way, here we go. White House spokeswoman Jean-Pierre, I expect new CPI data to be highly elevated. So what does she know that we don't know? Does she have any information? Is there something in that we're starting to see? Like, are we feeling is there some kind of something that she's starting to, is she giving us some information that we didn't otherwise have? Is there something going on? Like, we should really kind of try to figure that out right now. So, you know, we'll see. But I don't know. Anyway, time for me to go walk my dog. It is time for me to go get my shit together for the night. So let's close this out with, guys, you should be very, very scared about what's going on right now. You should be very alarmed at these numbers. The CPI is not going to look good tomorrow. It's not going to look good no matter what. Now, hey, there's Hunter Biden smoking crack. I'm glad I didn't vote for him. I don't think anybody here voted for him. So, where are we on the CPI number? So let me get back to where that fucking dude was. Here we go. So this right here that he's talking about, it's not going to be under 8.6. If it's here, temporary drop. Now, here's the thing. That temporary drop is actually reasonable to assume that we're going to have a pullback. And then once that pullback is over, we're going to start to see some movement again in a couple days. So, you know, fear not. You're going to see, it's going to hurt. You know, what we see is going to be a little bit painful. You're going to be like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? You're going to feel, you're just going to feel some ouch off of this whole thing. So, you know, make accommodations, get yourself some bandages and get ready for it. But, you know, we're going to pump again. It's always, look, it's crypto. We're always going to keep pumping again. Oh, by the way, here, you can see the Asian market. China is up right now. So is Korea. They're both moving to the upside. So their data is positive so far tonight. That usually means that they're looking at our numbers and they're shrugging it off and they're saying, oh, the U.S. market's down, so what? So they're shrugging that off. They're worried about themselves, and that's going to pump this up. I don't know what the European markets. I didn't get that far in my overnight investigations. But I'm gonna start finding some European markets, and we're gonna start watching those European markets, and we're gonna see what they do, and then we'll get a sense of where crypto is going, like as we do it. But of course, anything could stop on a dime. So, we'll see what happens over the next little while. Remember, this is a risk asset. Don't buy yet, Dave D. Don't buy yet. Do not make that buy. Make your buys after the dump, not before. But anyway, guys, this is not financial advice. My name's Bleaves. I'm always right, and it gets better. It gets better.